Oh shit, are we recording? What's up, yo? This is Kaesevyn. About to talk to y'all about conversations with myself. This is the first interview I've ever done live, so here's hoping that I can win your heart and your mind. How did I become K7? Well, I I was I mean I wasn't always I wasn't always K7. So like I started off as like Jake. My stage name before K7 was J Craze. I got that name through like friends and classmates and stuff like that in high school. When I went to the military in 2016, after coming back home, I didn't feel like musically speaking, I was Jay Craze anymore. I felt like a different person. I had grown so much from my experiences and from my time down there that, I mean, there's no way in the world I could come back and still be Jay Craze. So, where did the name come from? I mean, it's gonna sound corny when I tell you, but um, so I had a phone, and the model number of that phone was K7. And then I did a Google search. You know, is there, another person, whose stage name is K7? And there is, but it's like their K7 is not the way that I spell mine and have like trademarked mine. So, for all intents and purposes, I'm not the only K7 in the world, but I feel like since like 2000 since 2016, I'm the only K7 in the world that actually matters. I've been making music since 2010 actually. So this was right around like so when I was J Craze. Um, 2010 was where I first wrote my very first verse, my very first tryout of rap, whatever it is that you wanna call it. Um, the first verse I can remember actually writing, recording, and putting out for people to listen to was actually a remix of Nicki Minaj's "Massive Attack." Um, if I don't even think I remember the lyrics to that. If I ever find it, um, I'll 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 put it back out. But yeah, I got my start in 2010, and I've been making music for like 11 years, on and off for 11 years, but mostly I spent the time just like perfecting my craft, perfecting things behind the scenes. I never really was one who was like photogenic. I never really got on the camera to do or say anything because I didn't feel like I was ready, to be honest with you. I felt like everything that I was, trying to do, everything that I wanted to do with my music, um, I wasn't there really, really to like put it out and be all on Front Street. I feel like it's different now because like, that's 11 years. Like if I haven't figured out, what life is like now, in 11 years, well, what am I doing? If I'm not growing, you know what I mean? What am I really doing? Except just like kind of spinning my wheels. Some values that I've learned along the way. Patience. Patience is like the biggest thing. I would definitely say that anyone needs to learn. You know, like you are going to be, if you're going to try to do this and you're going to try to do it by yourself, you're going to learn very quickly that you need to have patience. It's not going to come just like that. It's not, things are not going to click for you right away. And if they do, great. If they do, fantastic. But from where you start to the release, the aftermath, the everything after that, it's not a hey man, let's just send this out and see what it does. It doesn't really work that way. At least not in my experience. If it works different for anyone else, then let them tell you the story. But coming from from me, yeah, patience is like the biggest thing you can teach yourself. The biggest thing that you can work on for yourself, because if after 11 years, at least coming from me, if you don't after 11 years you don't have patience, what are you what are you really doing? You know what I mean? It's a lot of times people will tell you it's quantity over quality, but then that's just how the market is moving. That's just how how the industry is going. Everyone likes to put out and put out and put out material, and that's fine if that's what fits your mold. If that's what you like to do, then do you. If that's what works for you. But if you're someone like me, I would rather take my time and create and make sure that this is something that I'm 100% confident in before I put it out. That's just me. Um, it would really Andre 3000 first and foremost. That is my idol. One day I hope to meet him. Talk to, even if it's just like in passing. Like if I saw him at like a Wendy's or some shit like that, I wouldn't know what to do with the rest of my life. Be honest with you, like I idolize him a lot. Um, him. Let me see here. Ti is a big influence. Hobson, Jordan Lucas. Um, Let me see who else. A lot of underground people. There's this guy who I grew up on. Um, like I'm talking like 2000. I kind of knew him like 2007, and he's one of the reasons why I even got started in wanting to do music. He used to go by the name of D Pride, but then he, unfortunately he lost his mom to cancer, and he went through a couple of name changes. Now he just goes by Russell. I would say most of his fans, still know, if you say D Pride amongst his fans, there's no way in the world you don't know who the hell, we're talking about. But with people like Russ, and then there's Russell, you know what I mean? It's like, if you don't know any better, you'd think that I'm talking about Russ, or, you don't even know who the other cat is. But I would say he is the biggest influence musically that I have. He's the one that allowed me to believe in myself. It's actually funny. It's funny. I have a story. So the very first concert that I went to, like I bought tickets for, traveled to by myself. I was 17 years old. Was actually a Russell concert. This is when he went by D Pride. So he was here in Cleveland, and I forget how I even learned of the of the performance, but I was like, yo, he's coming to Cleveland. There's no way in the world, bro, I can miss this. There's no way I can miss this. And I get there, and there he is, and I'm like, holy shit, there he is. What do I say to him? What do I even how do I address him? Because I come from a household, you know what I mean, where, if you don't know anyone personally, you call them Mr., Sir, Mrs., Ms., Miss, whatever. I'm like, what do I call? I don't want to be disrespectful because I know your name, right? But I don't want to just call you your government name. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know who I am. I'm a stranger. I'm a fan. But it's like, I'm so starstruck right now. Like, how can I not? You know what I mean? So, so the show's going. He's damn good job, and everyone's electrified. Everyone is enjoying themselves and everything. And then like more towards the end of the show, he just kind of abruptly stops everything and just like tells us all, hey, that's been my time. I'm deprived. Good night, and walks off stage. And but it was like the way that he did it was just like, why would you end a show like that? Who told you that was okay? So he said, nah, hell no, dude. We gotta, no, come back out. You know what I mean? We gotta end the show right. That's not the way you end a show. So he comes back out and he plays his, a track from, what was that? That wasn't Flagship. He might have been on tour for that project, but I think it was a track off of his first studio album, Mars, and it was a track called Start Again. Yeah, it was a track called Start Again. And so the entire time, right, I'm watching him on stage, and I'm loving the fact that I'm at a concert for my idol, and nothing could make this better except for getting on stage with him. You know what I mean? So I'm eyeballing him, but then I'm also eyeballing like the side of the stage over there, like where you could walk up. And so like halfway through the song, I moved from where I was standing at, like in front of the stage, over to that side entrance. And to this day, I have absolutely no clue because he saw me move, right? He saw me move, and like he pointed to me. Look, and we made eye contact. He pointed to me and was like, yo, I see you, right? To this day, I don't know if he was just saying, oh, hey, I found you, or if it was a, hey, come on stage with me. But either way, I went on stage. So that was the best time of my entire life. How many people do you know get to go on stage with their favorite artist in the entire world? And then that artist gives you props for doing that. I'm a nobody. You know what I mean? I'm just a fan of this guy. I'm starstruck, dude. You give me the opportunity to fucking get on stage with you, grab a mic, and sing your song, dude, I'm not gonna fucking let you down. That's how that works. I'm not gonna fucking disappoint you. So the set ends. He shouts me out in front of the whole crowd, man. And I was mad. I'm so mad because I was there by myself, and I don't know anybody else in this crowd. I don't trust anyone else to, take my phone. Hey, man, record this. And then it's like, who the fuck was I gonna give it to? So unfortunately, I don't have proof that I got on stage with him. I do have pictures, like before the show, after the show, you know what I mean? And it was the dopest fucking thing in the world. So after that show, that solidified my desire to become an artist and to go perform and to go do things, so that way I could do that I could give that feeling to someone else. You know what I mean? Even if that never happens, to think that it might, worth it. Totally fucking worth it. No, this is not my first major release. At least not by my book. So if we're going off of my entire discography from when I first started to now, as J Craze, two I put out a mixtape and what I considered to be an album. Listening back to the album I put out as J Craze, it wasn't an album. It was more like a mixtape. But then when I was doing music back then, I didn't know any better. I honestly I was doing it more so for like a hobby. You know what I mean? Like this was not my main thing. What I wanted to do was I wanted to be an actor. You know, I felt like I had the talent for it, but slowly but surely, I realized that music is a lot more prominent in my life, and it's something that I have the opportunity to do every single day. But no, to answer the question, no, this is not my my first major release. In my mind, according to my entire discography, this is like the third major release of my career. But I feel like it's going to be the biggest and best one yet because now I know what I'm doing. So conversations with myself started out as an argument, actually. I was looking to, make moves and make progress in my career. I was done, not getting plays, was done not getting any recognition. I was done with not being known, right? Or at least like not being known by more than my circle of friends. So I had a mentor. His name was Greg Clark Jr. He was a pastor, and he had been doing music since like the late '80s, early '90s, and even back when because he's a pastor. Even back when I went to church, he made music, and this is like when I was like 14 or 15, like right around the time I had just gotten started. But he made Christian rap, and it was pretty cool for like the time, you know what I mean? Because like I didn't really have a direction that I wanted to go in. I didn't really have a musical identity, so to speak. So it was pretty all right. It was pretty cool to just kind of be a part of something, kind of be featured on something, and have people recognize me for, oh hey, you made that song. That was pretty dope. You know what I mean? But getting back to conversations with myself, it started out, it was an argument between me and Greg because when I told him that, I want you to be my manager and I want you to help me take my music to new heights. I want to do something with this. I don't want it to just be a thing that I do. No, I want to make this my career. So he's like, okay, fine. I can do that. What we'll need you to do is we're going to need you to come up with some new material. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, well, wait. I've already got material. I've got this album coming out. That's when I was releasing Keep It Simple too. I'm like, I got this album coming out, man, and we can just use that. And he's like, yeah, no, because the way that you structured that is not the audience we're going to be targeting for you. I said, well, what kind of audience are we going to be targeting? He's like, those who, listen to gospel and secular music. For those who don't know, secular music is literally anything that's not gospel, or having anything to do with, Christianity. And, and I told them, I'm like, well, I'm not a Christian rapper. I can't fake that. You know what I mean? If it's not something I'm interested in, it's gonna show in the lyrics that I write. You know what I mean? It's gonna show in the delivery. It's not gonna sound genuine or authentic. And he's like, that's fine, we'll work on it. I'm like, but you don't understand. Like I don't want to portray something that I'm not. If I'm not a Christian rapper, I don't want to, say that I'm a Christian rapper or put out music like I am one. if I'm not a trapper, you know what I mean? I don't want to put out trap rap because I don't live that lifestyle. You know what I mean? I don't want for people to misconstrue who I am, and I don't want for people to label me as something or another when I'm clearly not. To me that makes no sense. So, we went back and forth for months about making this thing. And I finally threw my hands up. I said, okay, fine, whatever, we'll do it. You know what I mean? But if we're gonna do it, it can't just be, what you say. I've got to have some creative control over this. And he's like, absolutely, of course you can. It's your music. You are the artist. We just have to make sure that your music, the content that we're going to be pushing out, is appropriate for all the audiences that we're trying to target. And I said, okay. So I went home after that, and I thought to myself, I'm like, you know what? He's talking about things that I'm not privy to. He has a lot more experience doing this than I do. So in my mind, he knows what he's talking about. Okay, you know what? You've got it. You've got it. I give up. I'm not going to fight you anymore. You want me to do the EP? I'll do the EP. Whatever. No big whoop. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, he gave me complete creative control. The only thing he really did, honestly, like with the whole process of this, the only thing he really did was just like coach me on the delivery when recording like some tracks. Other than that, it was all me. Everything about it was me. My lyrics, my this, my that. My own pace. And excuse me. Yeah, and that was it. Unfortunately though, my mentor, he contracted COVID, and he passed away in July of last year. So he saw me record and work on 2 tracks from the EP, and unfortunately he didn't live to see me finish the EP. And that's that's kind of what bothered me for a long time before I really got in gear and started really making moves to make this a big thing. This is something that I argued with you to death over. I didn't want to do it in the first place, but now that you're gone, I feel like it's only respectful that I finish this. You know what I mean? And do for it what you planned on doing before you left. So it's only, again, it's out of respect that I finished it and I put it out, and I do for the project what he wanted to do for the project and for me. So honestly, yeah, there were a few times where I wanted to give up. I wanted to. I mean, when my mentor passed away, I wanted to give up because, well, he's no longer here. What am I gonna do? And then the studio that we were going to, it didn't feel right going there without him. I know I have my own studio, my own equipment and whatnot to do everything myself, but this was something that we were supposed to work on together. There was actually supposed to be one of the tracks on the EP was actually supposed to be a track, with me and him on it. We hadn't made music together since 2011 or before that, and so like that. But then that was around the time where that was around the time where I first started making music, and he had always been a fan of mine. He had always listened to the stuff that I put out in the interim, but I don't think he knew quite well like how much I had grown since the last time we made music together. And so with that being said, what I told him that I wanted to do was I want for there to be a track on here that is just me and you, and we're going bar for bar, or or we just we're just 2 rapping ass artists on the track, and we're just going in together. Unfortunately, that track will never see the light of day, because before we could even get it recorded, before I could even lay my vocals down or he laid his vocals down, was when he got sick and contracted COVID, and he was in the I believe he was in the hospital for maybe a month and a half, and then that was it. So there was quite literally no chance of completing the song. So I had to take creative control and just go in a totally different direction. Um, but yeah, there were several points where I wanted to just give up and not do it anymore. But then in the same instance, I thought that, well, if I give up now, then it's like it would feel like a slap in the face to him. You know what I mean? So making the EP, it was pretty fun actually. When I sit back and I look at it, um, I didn't. It took me a year. Yeah, it took me a year to finish the EP. Normally, it takes me for up to that point. It took me like maybe 2, 3 months, 6 months tops to work on a project, finish it, put it out, and everything. But it took me a full year to work on this one because it was so special. It was it is for all intents and purposes my baby. You know what I mean? Um, and a lot of stuff was left on the cutting room floor when deciding what's going on this project and what's not going on this project. There are in my storage alone, there are maybe like 15 to 20 tracks that just did not make the cut. um, but I wanted it to be a concise narrative. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna take you on a roller coaster ride, but I don't want you to get lost and I don't want you to fall off. You know what I mean? So that's why, because I thought about making it an album. I thought about just making a mixtape, but then no, 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 we're gonna do an EP, and you know that means the the stuff that I wanted to go on there just didn't make it. I mostly did everything myself, just from an engineering standpoint. Um, Only because, well, being an independent artist, you don't really have that many resources. So you kind of have to wear the different hats. You got to wear the producer hat. You got to wear the mixing engineer hat. You got to wear the hat of the PR agent, everything like that. So with how everything worked out, um, I would say that, like I said, this is my best project ever. Yeah, I decided on June 8th because, well, for one, that's my birthday. Um, I normally don't celebrate my birthday. Because I don't have anything to do for it. I never plan anything for my birthday. So I wanted this year to be something different. I wanted this year to my birthday, serves a purpose to me. Like, it's the release date of my project, and it's the biggest and best project I've ever put out. So, like, if you want to wish me a happy birthday, basically, go listen to it, go stream it, go share it with your friends. Make this, make this go gold or something. I don't, silver or something like that. I don't know. I was brought into this world Saturday, June 8th, 1996. So I want the best work that I've put out to date to be born on Tuesday, June 8th, 2021. What's next for Kaesevyn? See, I hate this question because I always get like super excited about the stuff that I'm doing, and it's very hard to contain everything that I'm doing because I know I can just put it out whenever I want to. I know I can do that. But at the same time, it's like I can't just put it out and give you all too much, because then it's like, yeah, I'm just flooding you with, with content. You don't even have a chance to go through the first thing that I sent you. So just know that, all right, all I can say is that there are at least 3 to 4 projects that are in the works as we speak. So as of this recording, Conversations with Myself is finished. It's on its way to be delivered to stores. But also waiting in the wings are like 3 projects that I'm working on simultaneously. And I've got the majority of the artwork done for those other projects. And that's really all that I can say without giving away too many fucking details. So yeah, so you guys if you're gonna just have to wait. You're gonna have to wait and see. You know what I mean? But I promise you, I won't leave you waiting for too long. How's that? I won't leave you waiting for too long. I promise. All right. So thank you all. This is Kaesevyn. I'll see you on release day.